everybody. This is Meet the Horses and everybody at at Windy Stables Part 1. Okay, let's get started. So first up, we have our Andalusian Stallion. His name is Nightwing and he is owned by Catherine. And he is our best jumper at the stables. Next, we have my Romeo from Rio, and he is our 2015, I think, Pinto Stallion. Next, we have our Quarter Horse Stallion, and he is the stables horses, so is Romeo from Rio. And he is ridden Western. Next, we have Rubix. He is in our episode Love. And he is our Appaloosa Stallion owned by the stables, and he is in some training. So, next, we have Johnny. He was just bought from Jenny and given to the stables, and he is in our episode of Love. And Rubix is our Appaloosa Stallion, and Johnny is our Pinto Stallion. Now we have King, our Tennessee Walking Horse Stallion. He is in our episode of Love, and he's still owned by the stables, ridden by Lily, and yeah. He is our older Tennessee Walking Horse Stallion. Next, we have our next Tennessee Walking Horse Stallion, Sultan. He is in the episode, and he has somebody who is his secret admirer. Not so secret anymore. He is still owned by the stable and ridden by the professional riders. Next, we have our Frisian Stallion, Black Knight. He is still owned by the stable, and he is only ridden by professional riders. And he is in our episode of Love. Next up in our episode of Love is our Hanoverian Stallion, Toast. He's a nice buckskin, and he is a lesson horse. And he is not owned by anybody except the stable. Bye. He likes to make an appearance. Next, we have our Tractor Stallion, Arrow. And he's not very well trained. He was abused once. And so the stable has him for safekeeping because of his abuse and all that stuff. And he can be a handful. Next up is our next Tractor Stallion, who is not a custom, and he is owned by Emily, one of our Western riders. And he's our Palomino Tractor Stallion. Next up is our Arabian Stallion Radio. And he is owned by the stable, and he doesn't get really ridden much. Sometimes the little girls ride him, and most of the time he doesn't get ridden, but he does sometimes get ridden by like Veronica, Catherine, or Rose. And he does have a mate in the episodes. He just hasn't been mentioned yet. Next, we have our Blip Toys Stallion. He is Marley, and his foal is Chestnut's filly. And Chestnut is his mate. And he is owned by the stable, and he's owned by Veronica, sorry. He's owned by Veronica, and he's only ridden sometimes by professional riders. Veronica owns a lot of horses at the stable. Next, we have our Gypsy Vanner. He is mentioned in a My Big Fat American Gypsy Wedding joke. And he is our Gypsy Vanner Stallion, and he is owned by the stable. Next up, we have our ponies. So first up, we have our Bella Stallion Speckles, and he's owned by the stable. This is Whiskey, our mini Shetty Stallion, and he is owned by the stables, but he could be sold eventually at one point to like one of the riders or to a better home. And he is our trick pony. Next, we have a pony who is being sold to the stable, and this is our Shetland pony, Mr. Big. He is owned by Josie, but she doesn't really ride him anymore. And that is our stallions that are in pens. And now, let me get the stallions that are not in pens. Oh, wait. This is the only one that is not in a pen currently. This is Fire. He is mentioned in the episode somewhat times. He's mentioned a lot, and he is like, he's our Mustang Stallion, and he has anger problems, and he can be ridden by Josie. That's because he is also owned by Josie's parents, but he's like a whole handful, and he got in a fight with a horse, and he has stitches, and he will not behave, so his stitches have to keep being re-stitched. If I worded that wrong, I am so sorry. Okay, now that is all the stallions at our stable. Let's do our pony mares, our goats, and our stable dog. We also have one more stable dog, but she is currently out. Okay, first up, we have the stable dog. He's been standing in the background. Let me adjust him. Okay, this is Trooper, our golden lab male, and he's a good boy. He helps around the stable. Okay, just go back over here with Jenny. Or not Jenny. Okay, next up we have our pony mares. So, let's get those out. Okay, first up is Heartbutt. I am not the namer of her. Heartbutt, and she is our Shetland pony, and she's owned by the stable. She's definitely owned by the stable. And yeah, she's a good girl. She's not ridden or anything. She's just free range, and like sometimes, like very, like rarely, she's used for birthday parties. Next up, what we use as her foal is the mini Shetty foal, and this is Cake. She eats like way too much, but we use her as Heartbutt's foal, and yeah. Mimi. Next up are Falabellas. This is our Falabella mare, Sugar Plum Fairy. She has little sugar on her batouche. Then I actually helped name her. This is her foal, and I am not the namer of it. And this is Baby. She's our Philabella foal. And she's very cute. Okay, let me get our goats. And then we have a calf. And that'll be the end of this part. So, first up, our calf. This is Moo Moo. And he's just random. We only use him in shows for like rounding and stuff. And once he gets older, we're going to sell him or use him later on. But he's normally kept away from the stable. Next up, we have our two goats, Billy and Goat. So this is Billy. And he's owned by the stable. Most of these animals are. Trooper is owned by the stable. But he plays with everybody. He's normally Jenny's dog, but like he runs around with Jenny and follows her around and all that stuff. Okay, next up is Goat. And he's owned by the stable. So absorb his glory. He's a mischief maker. Anywho, that is the end of Meet all our animals at the stable. Well, not all our animals, but like meet the living souls at our stable. And yeah, so wait for part 2 of this. And see you next time. Like, subscribe, and please make a comment. Bye.